Good morning. Happy 4th of July. Please forgive the background noises. I'm in my porch garden and I want to talk about tomato plants today. So, I have three types of plants that are growing. So, this first one that we're looking at with the tomatoes on there is a husky cherry red tomato plant. It's a dwarf indeterminate. And as you can look and see from the plant that it is very fruitful. Um, there's more tomatoes coming, and these flowers will are actually the home of where the tomatoes will actually come out of. So if you look over here, you can see that the tomato plant. Trying to move the bush so you can see. Here you go. This tomato plant has that little star on it, and that is what is the flowering part of it. So this tomato plant, as you see, it's going to grow um, husky cherry tomatoes. They're going to be red and they're going to be dwarf, like they're going to be small. So this is the size that they're actually going to be when they get bigger, and they just have to gain their color through nourishment. Now, this second plant that we're looking at right here, this is a yellow cherry tomato plant. It's a Sugar Sun hybrid indeterminate. And as you can see, here are little cherry tomatoes, and then these, here you go. Let me just move this leaf over so you can see it. So these tomatoes are almost ripe and ready to eat. So what I want to talk about is the difference in the species, some notable characteristics of it, so that you can determine the difference between the two of them. So first of all, at a perfect glance, they look exactly the same, but the difference is in the leaves. So if you look at this leaf, you see how big it is and full, and that leaf is of the husky cherry tomato plant. And now if you look at the yellow, the Sun Sugar hybrid, you see that the leaves on these plants are much smaller. So let's get a picture of them together. So the leaves on the left are much bigger than the leaves on all the plants on the right. So my third plant here is also a Sun Sugar hybrid tomato. So here we go. Now this plant, again, I apologize for the background noise, but this plant here, you can definitely see its characteristics of being a hybrid. You see it has these big leaves here, which are similar to the leaves on the husky cherry tomato plant. And then you can see that these leaves here are small, like the sugar hybrid sun tomato plant. So this plant here has two stems coming out of it, but they're completely different. And actually, the tomato size of it, here we go. You see these tomatoes in here. This is the yellow sugar tomato, which in the first plant I show you, it looks exactly the same. And now this plant is also flowering here, and it's getting tomatoes, and it's going to look like the first plant that I saw you. So I'm going to get, I'm going to get two different types of tomatoes from these three plants. And as you can see, they're all flowering, so they're all about ready to produce tomatoes. And in my estimate, because it's still early in the summer, they'll probably be giving tomatoes all of July and August. And last year we actually had tomatoes in late September, beginning of October. So, and that was the same thing with the pepper plants, and I'll do another video later on the pepper plants. So you may be wondering why I opted to do cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes don't weigh down the stems as more as the large size tomatoes. So you have to put like a little spiral cage on them so that they actually can live and stay up. And also the big tomatoes, I prefer when, when I'm cooking and I'm doing things, I actually prefer to use the cherry tomatoes. They just um, are more pleasurable to eat, and I also bite into them, and I eat them as a snack. So that's why I opted to do the mini tomatoes as opposed to the larger tomatoes. So I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and I will post another video again soon. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.